What should be spiritually inherent as a character of disciples is that you see God in every circumstance of life. And that's how I'm going to open up as I share a little bit with about my life, about my service to you, service to the Lord as your deacon, and how He has called me through the leadership, the elders, and through you. It's been a fantastic 10 years. I think we're closing in on 10 years. And Linda and I are having fun. There are challenges. But what I want to speak to you about is three things. First, my being called as your deacon and how that has challenged me and stretched me, and it has. And then secondly, the D-band that I've experienced over the time that I've been with the men the Lord has placed shoulder to shoulder with me, and the blessings and challenges that we have had. And then thirdly, just basically the very heart of Heartland, who we really are, what we're about, what we're not and what we are, the third thing. These are all important things to me, things that have blessed me, and I believe hopefully, God, I know He has, used you to increase my faith and deepen my love for Him and for you as well. First of all, as to the calling of a deacon, I did that with much trepidation. It took just a real short response to the request when the pastor first asked me. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even have to go pray about it, because there was a rhythm in my heart for Heartland at the time, and He placed it there. So I said yes right away, that I would be willing to serve the Heartland family as deacon and serve the elders as well. So it didn't take long to figure that one out. I'm still stretched concerning the aspect of my experience as a deacon, rubbing elbows with my guys in the D-band, serving you, our church family. I know there are a lot of hurt, a lot of challenges out there, and Linda and I do pray for you. And there's times that it stretches us when we have to counsel someone who's not listening, okay? But the thing that has also stretched me is because of my background in military and law enforcement, there was a performance-based attitude that God used the elders and the other men in that original discipleship band that I thought I understood grace, but I began to realize, wow, I'm still into performance-based thinking. And God moved me out of that. Now, listen, I still struggle with it occasionally. Because, see, I want to serve Him and serve you, and I have to be careful with my attitude. Am I doing this to perform, or am I doing this in grace? Secondly, the challenges, the things that stretch me in the D-band. I love my men in the group. God has seasoned their hearts. We have accountability in our group. I think we did much what Christ did with the early disciples, that there are times that we laugh, sometimes we cry, sometimes we get a little aggravated at one of the other believers in our D-band, but then God just continues to move us through all of that. And one of the things that He places in our heart is transparency toward each other in that D-band. D-band is absolutely important, because that's where church happens. The rubbing of the elbows, and then hopefully the bonding of the hearts is what we're to have as disciples. Now, thirdly, talk a little bit about what Heartland is and what Heartland is not. Let's start with what Heartland is not. And this is exactly what attracted Linda and myself to the Heartland family. We're not into traditions, okay? We have moved away from the traditions of man. Now, when I first got saved, I've been in and out of a lot of churches, Pastor, and I've noticed in some churches, just by tradition, and it used to be used. You guys see this bench up here? Yeah, I know it's a little bit dark. Some up here might describe it. What does that look like for the guys, folks in the back? Like a pew. Well, in some churches, they used to have a deacon's bench. Okay? Now, you notice that deacon's bench is empty? For good reason. Because we're not going to follow tradition. We're not going to follow man's tradition. We're going to follow the truths of Christ and his thinking. That's what we're going to do at Heartland. You know what else that Heartland is about? Heart talk. See, I don't think it was a coincidence that the Lord either generated or coordinated or allowed to happen, but we all came closer fitting in with our elbows, came closer to the proclamation of the Word, and through that, a bonding of our hearts, because that's what Heartland's about. It's the bonding of hearts. That God moves us through the process of realizing as we as disciples, realizing that experience. And that's what Heartland's about. It's about connecting people with God, we being connected with God and connecting others with God, and we out there ministering among people. It's been fun. It's still continuing to be fun. And Linda and I are enjoying every moment of this adventure, this exciting adventure of walking with Christ and having him help us make disciples.